Assalamu alaikum and welcome, dear students. This is your English teacher Kaisar Bashir. Dear students, in today's video lecture, I shall be talking about the poem Snowdrop, written by Ted Hughes, from your English textbook Tulip series for class 10th. Let's get started. About the poet. Dear students, Ted Hughes, born on August 17, 1930 and died on October 28, 1998, was an English poet, translator and children's writer, whose most characteristic verse is without sentimentality, emphasizing the cunning and savagery of animal life in harsh, sometimes disjunctive lines. Introduction to the poem. Dear students, in this poem, Ted Hughes creates an atmosphere of a hard, grim, and cruel winter, and uses images from nature to portray the toughness and brutality that a severe winter brings. He describes in subtle words how the winter has reduced the horizon of many creatures. He says that the world has shrunk and many outdoor creatures are on the verge of death. They no longer bustle or fly as they used to. What is snowdrop? Dear students, snowdrop is a plant that produces small, white, bell-shaped flowers in the early spring. Let's read the poem. Now is the globe shrunk tight, round the mouse's dulled wintering heart. Weasel and crow, as if molded in brass, move through an outer darkness, not in their right minds, with the other deaths. She too pursues her ends, brutal as the stars of this month, her pale head heavy as metal. Explanation to the poem. Dear students, in the poem, the poet has portrayed a chilly winter season. The earth appears to have shrunk tight due to the freezing cold. He has used globe for the snowdrop because of its roundness. Chilly and brutal winter has shrunk tight the flower also. The poet pities a mouse for its plight. The toughness of the weather has dulled the functioning of the mouse's heart. The poor animal has gone into hibernation with a reduced heartbeat. The plight of weasel and crow is also no different, owing to the brutal cold. They too appear as if molded in brass. Winter has rendered them immobile. They can hardly roam around in the open. Wintry days are gloomy too, because the sun hardly comes out of the dense clouds. Due to the freezing cold, these poor animals are not in their right minds. Many other animals are at the verge of death. On seeing the hardships being faced by the animals, they fear that they might experience the same thing. Dear students, in lines 6 to 8, the poet says that many outdoor creatures are killed by the severe cold in winter. Then he talks about the snowdrop. He addresses it as she, because this flower possesses the ability to bloom even in chilly weather. The flower appears to possess some exceptional powers of survival, and to the poet, it is the symbol of survival of the fittest in nature. In spite of the chill, it continues to achieve its goals. It pushes up its stem through the thick, hard layers of snow. It appears as brutal as the stars. The stars in the month of January do not evoke any emotions in the hearts of the beholders. Similarly, the snowdrop too doesn't kindle any feelings. It fails to produce any emotions in the beholder. The pale drooping head of snowdrop appears very heavy, as though it's made of some heavy metal. However, owing to this heaviness and hardness of head, the snowdrop is able to withstand the intense cold, when others fail to do so. Theme. Dear students, life is full of struggles and hardships. Anyone who stands firm and braves the struggles and hardships with determination is said to be valiant and successful. Nature uses various processes to teach mankind how to face life when it's not favorable. In the poem, we see how a white, bell-shaped flower, Snowdrop, blooms in harsh winter. By this, the poet gives us a message that life is not all roses. Sometimes it's a bed of thorns too. It teaches us how one can successfully face the challenge and be a winner. Survival is possible for fittest. Poetic devices. Number 1. Simile. What is simile? Dear students, simile is a comparison between two dissimilar objects having at least one quality similar. Dear students, the examples of simile used in the poem are as if molded in brass, brutal as stars, heavy as metal. Number 2. Imagery. What is imagery? Dear students, use of visually descriptive language, especially in a literary work, is called imagery. The examples of imagery used in the poem are mouse, weasel, crow, snowdrop, globe, stars, brass. Number 3. Alliteration. What is alliteration? Dear students, a rhythmic repetition of consonant sounds is called alliteration. The example of alliteration in the poem is her pale head heavy. Number 4. Assonance. Dear students, rhythmic repetition of vowel sounds is called assonance. The example of assonance in the poem is now is the globe shrunk tight, round the mouse's dull wintering heart. Rhyme scheme. Dear students, the poet has used para-rhyme in the poem. It's a half rhyme in which there is a vowel variation within the same consonant pattern. Look at these words. Tight, heart. Dear students, the words end with a consonant sound t, but there is a vowel variation in the syllable, as the consonant sound t in both the words precede a different vowel sound. Like in the word tight, the vowel that precedes the consonant sound t is I, and in the word heart, the vowel that precedes the consonant sound t is a. Dear students, this was all about today's video. Stay blessed. Khuda Hafiz.